What up, everybody? I'm the Goob, and we are a quarter of the way through the NFL schedule. And the Niners have sandwiched a couple of road losses in between a couple of home wins. And we're going to take a look at all phases of the Niners so far and where we can improve and where we're doing well to start. We're going to start with the worst and head to the best. The special teams. The Niners special teams need a lot of help. So I'm going to give them a D-. The bright spot would be Jake Moody. Our kicker is 11 for 12 in field goals. His only miss being a crucial one versus the Rams, which kind of gives him a little bit of a downtick. But Moody's been good. The kicking's been good. Where we have not been good is, coverages. We've given up a couple long returns and a fake punt for a first down. That needs to be fixed. And our returners. They're young guys, rookies mostly, Garendo and Cowings, and they both have fumbles. So we're going to have to clean that up. How do we fix it? I mean, I don't think there's anything you can do personnel-wise. Maybe Devin Hester's out there or something, you can go pick him up. But honestly, this is all about practice, all about knowing what you're doing. Maybe a couple less Shanahan plays in practice and a couple more special teams reps would do us wonders. Moving on to defense. After 4 games, our defense, you know what? There's ups and downs. I'm going to give them a B-, just because they've been doing this without Armstead and without Dre Greenlaw. Let's start with what's bad. The pass rush, which against New England, Nick Bosa started to look like Nick Bosa and put some pressure on the quarterback, getting more into that TJ Watt, Aiden Hutchinson kind of zone, which he should be in there. And those guys are defensive MVP candidates, Hutchinson and TJ Watt. And we have one of our own in Fred Warner, who's probably played 4 of the best games a middle linebacker has played in a long time, punctuated by last week's pick 6. Unbelievable. Cornerbacks, Shavaris Ward is doing his thing. He gets burnt every once in a while, but he plays tight coverage. You got to live with that. The other side, Diamador Lenore, my favorite name in football. He has stepped up this year. Jumping routes, just being sticky. The length of his arms, you could tell. When he was a rookie, he thought he'd had the shortest arms in the world, but now he's getting those paws in there. Diamador Lenore playing great. Our safeties, we have so many good ones between Jair Brown and the rookie Mustafa, and now Hufanga is coming back, and we have veteran presences in George Odom. I feel like maybe, and this is maybe a criticism of the defensive coordinator, the safeties sometimes are put in one-on-one spots against like the top or slot receivers of the other team, and they're not cornerbacks. There's no way they could hang with a Chase, Jamar Chase or somebody like that. So they've been burned a couple times. I do like our safeties are young. They're probably going to be the best unit in the league here, maybe as soon as next year. But we've got some growing pains. So defense B-. Some room for improvement. I don't think there's any pass rushers out there. It's going to be up to Nick Bosa. And we can use a run stuffer. Losing Armstead and then Hargrave to injury for the year. So if you're a fat run stuffer and need a job, call the Niners. Moving on to the offense, where Brock Purdy is leading the league in yards once again, and once again in yards per attempt. Just a fun stat I heard on the radio yesterday. Thanks, KNBR. Last year's 9.6 yards per attempt and this year's 9.3 yards per attempt for Brock Purdy would be better than Peyton Manning's best season, 9.2, Dan Marino's best season, 9.0, Aaron Rodgers' best season ever, 9.2. We just basically go over every quarterback of all time because Brock Purdy has the top 2 yards per attempt in the league, in league history. So I'd say he's doing his job. He runs around like a maniac in the backfield. Sometimes he looks like a chicken with no head. Sometimes gets us in trouble, sometimes doesn't. I got to give him props. He's one of the more entertaining quarterbacks out there, and he pushes the ball downfield just like we want. So he's been amazing. Obviously, no Christian McCaffrey has been a setback. Maybe we blame the Rams' loss on that. But J.P. Mason, Jordan Mason, has been phenomenal. He also leads the NFL in yards from scrimmage as a running back. Or maybe just rushing yards, my fault. So he's doing his job. Let's see, where else to go? Juwan Jennings has been amazing. I guess we can go down to what's not working. Brandon Ayuk, 14 or 15 targets over 4 games. That's not $30 million a year in my book. He needs to step up, although he is getting open. Apparently his separation yards are still there. So we like the progress from Ayuk. Offensive line, Trent Williams needs a lot of IVs this year and is actually being outplayed by our right guard, who I want to make sure to emphasize, Dominic Pooney. I misplaced his jersey, but Dominic Pooney has had a higher PFF grade than Trent Williams in 3 of the 4 games, I believe, so far. And it's just fun to watch this kid block. I mean, it gives us a little bit of balance on the O-line with Trent on one side, Dominic Pooney on the other. Run blocking. He mauls people. He's pushing defensive linemen to the second level, knocking them into linebackers. Fantastic. Pass protection needs a little work, but he's still solid. It seems like they're trying to go around him, and instead of throw him in for defensive tackles to try to go around people, it's a little tricky. So I want to emphasize Dominic Pooney. Put him in the Rookie of the Year race. I mean, obviously Neighbors is probably going to get it, a few other people, but Dominic Pooney, he's going to be a mainstay in this line for years and years to come. Where do we have room for improvement? I mean, just getting McCaffrey back, really. And I think this offense is going to be back to pretty unstoppable. So I like where we're headed there. That pretty much wraps up the quarterly. We have to get like I said, a run stopper, get some of these healthy guys back. Dre Greenlaw and his addition would be fantastic. So the Niners, we have one more home game against the Cardinals, then on to Seattle. So let's take this New England momentum, beat the shit out of a couple NFC West teams, and we'll be looking fine. This has been The Goob at FB and The Goob Productions. Niners Quarterly. We out.